Hello, I'm Nancy Mitchell with the Etiquette Advocate, and we are talking about dining etiquette. We'll talk now about the main course and what to do when that arrives. In most cases, you will receive your entree as a pre-plated course. Whatever you've ordered, if it's in the restaurant, or whatever your host or hostess has planned for you will come pre-plated, and the waiter will set down a plate in front of you. By the way, wait staff will serve you from the left, they clear from the right. Glassware is always filled and removed from the right side. You need to be aware of where a waiter is in the service of a meal, because there are times when you might have to lean to the left or to the right or to accommodate a waiter in some fashion. So if your entree arrives in this manner, you again have that option of eating American fashion or European fashion. If I've chosen to eat American fashion, and we are having today mashed potatoes, chicken, and green beans, I will make one cut of meat at a time. I do not cut the entire chicken breast. I cut one piece at a time, and I eat one piece at a time. American fashion, I am going to make that one cut. I'm going to place my knife on the upper edge of my plate. I am going to switch the fork to my right hand, and I'm going to eat the bite that I just cut. And I will go through that many, many times as I eat the entree. If I've chosen to eat European fashion, I am going to make that cut, move the fork to my mouth without changing it from hand to hand, have my elbows very close to my body, my wrists can rest on the table, and I can make as many cuts in this fashion as I want without putting my knife and fork back onto my plate. When it's time for me to take a sip of water, a sip of wine, I will follow again that silent service code, where for European fashion, my fork and knife are crisscrossed in an X pattern on my plate. Take a drink of water, leave the table for a short period of time. Or if I'm eating American fashion, again they'll be crisscrossed, but the tines of my fork will be pointed up, some space between the utensils. It's telling the waitstaff, I'm not finished, don't remove this course, I'm coming back. When I'm completely finished, those are going to be parallel, closer together. European fashion, the tines will be turned down, and again, these will be close together and parallel on this portion of the plate. The beauty of eating continental fashion is you can make that one cut, but then you can push some potatoes onto this bite, you can push a few green beans, you can build a little package of food, if you will, on the end of the fork. Pivot your wrist, bring that to your mouth. It's perfectly all right to use the knife as a pusher. It pushes bits of the potato, bits of the green bean, whatever you want to make this bite. You can push that onto the end of the fork and bite it at one time. Very efficient. The rule of thumb when this is served is taste your food before you immediately add salt and pepper. It shows that you are jumping to conclusions, you're a rash sort of person, you are often offending your host or hostess if you reach for the salt and pepper and you immediately salt and pepper your food before you've even tasted. So go easy on the salt and pepper, taste it, enjoy it, then decide if it needs something else. You can look for condiments on the table, but if you are in someone's home, don't ask for special sauces that you don't see that are on the table and meant to be served with the dishes that are planned for you. Next, we're going to be talking about French service for the main course. Now that we've shown you how to eat a main course that is pre-plated, I'd like to share some information with you about French service. On very formal occasions, your host or hostess may determine that the entree or any other course may be served French service, which means that the course will arrive on a large tray and the wait staff will offer the food to each diner. This tray will contain the food for the entire table. So the diner needs to watch to see what is happening. When the waiter comes to the left of the diner may need to stop talking, look at the waiter, and indicate which of the dishes or food items on the tray they wish to have. You could turn to a waiter and you might say, in this case, I would like some of the chicken breast and the green beans, please, but I don't care for the potatoes. You'll have to communicate with the waiter to let him or her know what you want from the tray. Then the waiter will literally serve you what you have just asked for in a proportion on your plate. And if you want a little bit more, you might say, may I have a little bit more of the green bean or a little bit more of the sauce or something. So you need to communicate with the waiter. Modified French service will be the food for the entire table is arranged on this tray, but the serving utensils will be pointed toward the diner. The waiter will ask you to help yourself. You, in that case, pick up the fork and the spoon and you lift the pieces of the food that you want from the common tray onto your plate. Then the waiter will move around the table in such a manner. Next, we're going to be talking about how to use a finger bowl.
To watch the other segments in this video series or for how-to videos on almost any other topic, visit monkeyseed.com.